There are 3 surprise foods that actually could be triggering your acid reflux and maybe you didn't even realize. Number 1, chocolate. Number 2, peppermint. And number 3, I'm just gonna call them fun beverages. These are the beverages that are caffeinated, carbonated, and potentially contain alcohol. Now the thing about all of these is that ultimately they relax the lower esophageal sphincter, which allows acid reflux to happen. So, what do? Okay, number 1, we drink more water. And number 2, we need to find a healthy replacement for your York peppermint patties. I would suggest mango nice cream. It's just frozen mangoes, frozen bananas, throw it in a blender. Bzz, it's amazing.
Cool. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Carissa and this is Mel.
Hi.
You already know her.
From the JCN Clinic.
Cool. And we're just here to have a couch chat about acid reflux. So Dr. Will, we should say doctor, has mentioned his top 3 foods.
Which is chocolate, peppermint, and fun beverages. So carbonated, caffeine, and alcohol containing beverages.
Yep. Would you say you agree with all 3?
I would say so, but like with gut stuff, it tends to be, well, these things are just so individualistic. So I guess some can trigger, maybe all can trigger some people, but it's never all 3 all the time, I guess.
Correct.
Would you say?
Yeah, I think there's probably some people that would be consuming all of them, but there's potentially some other ones as well. Yeah. I feel like peppermint is something I've only learned recently myself.
Yeah.
I had a client who was getting a little bit of reflux and we pulled away all of the other inflammatory foods and it was very much like pretty much gone, but she'd still get these bouts of it, and it wasn't until she stopped drinking her peppermint tea at night and then it completely went away, and I was like, peppermint, that's a new one. I didn't know about that. Did you?
Yeah, yes and no. I've been like, I've been unsure because I know for some people it can calm their gut symptoms down, but others, like it is a common thing told by doctors to, peppermint tea or peppermint things are no good for acid reflux.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, new news to me. Chocolate, I think, is a given because it usually comes with dairy and sugar. So for me, kind of makes sense, and especially if people are overindulging in chocolate at night after dinner on top of a full meal. Definitely worse reflux. Definitely see reflux being worse at night for people more commonly after dinner if they eat too much. And definitely alcohol. I would 100% agree with alcohol.
And even carbonated beverages too, that can tend to, but working on that mechanism of the lower esophageal tone. It's talking. Dr. B was talking specifically about that. I guess these foods and in a full stomach but I guess there would be other things.
100%.
There would be other. It's not just these foods that are doing it. It's like the underlying things or the build up of a culmination of things that could lead to these foods then having this reactivity leading to reflux. So
I agree. I definitely think I see low stomach acid playing a huge role in acid reflux, and I definitely see decreased pancreatic elastase causing a bit of an issue too. So just the actual ability to digest and break down food in the upper GI tract, something that I feel is something I'm usually or quite commonly addressing for people that get reflux conditions.
That lower digestive capacity, and then if we think further into that, it's like, well, what could be inhibiting this? And that could be things like low stomach acid, like you said, and then bacterial overgrowth is a real common one too. Tend to find things that are happening in the upper gastrointestinal tract are things like imbalances that could be there, which could be overgrowth of bacteria in the small intestine, so SIBO, even H. pylori infections, and things like that, because they inhibit your digestive capacity, so that leads to like reflux potentially coming about, becoming a symptom.
I would definitely say SIBO, and I didn't even think of H. pylori, but H. pylori definitely. Other foods. I feel like I'm not gonna steal yours.
Go on.
No. And again, we just want spicy. No.
You said you were going to say.
Mel's gonna talk about spicy foods.
Well, you just said it twice.
I did steal hers. Please elaborate.
So mine was spicy food. No. It's just an another food that potentially could, like trigger some symptoms. It just may not sit well and just stir things up a little bit. I find spicy foods that tend to be one. What's
I didn't even think of that until you mentioned it before, but it's so true. I also think dairy. Like I find people who actually have a dairy intolerance that they haven't recognized. Quite commonly, you remove dairy, and a lot of their reflux and heartburn, all of that goes away. And I also find like high starch, high refined carbs, like people that are consuming too much of those, and again, it's sometimes usually coupled with upper digestive insufficiency of whatever, all the things we just mentioned in, what is it, like together? But upper digestive, issues dealing with starch, and definitely high refined starch meals and things like that can be another trigger as well. So
and those things, like just even recognizing that can be such like a useful tool into how to start addressing it, because it can just be about adjusting your portions, and like it can be kind of a quick turnaround in the relief of symptoms by just going at it in a like just addressing these things.
I know what you're trying to say. I think the biggest thing is with reflux that we were talking about before we jumped on is that, and just as Mel mentioned at the start, is that it's definitely like everything with the with the gastrointestinal tract, which is the area that we both love working in, is that there isn't a one size fits all. We've just given you 3 things on top of Dr. Will's list, and we've just given you a couple of things on top of that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go and remove all of the things we've just said to get rid to get rid of your acid reflux. I think it's really important you work with someone to identify whether or not it is actually functional or food or a combination of the both.
Absolutely. Because a lot of the time when we see these lists or people that have these symptoms and they get given it, it's like, okay, just need to avoid these foods forever. And then
who wants to avoid chocolate forever? Not us.
Yes.
You couldn't live without spicy food.
Seriously. But I think that kind of sums it up quite nicely.
Perfect. So if you want us
information,
a bit of extra information for y'all. So if you want us to debunk any other topics or elaborate on, not even debunk, but just elaborate on, or if you guys have got any TikTok videos or other IG reels that you would like more information on or just our opinion on, please flip them through to us, either mine, Mel, or Jess's account, or Rochelle's, and we'll talk about them. Have a couch chat about them. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.